This is what you want in a state championship ball game. Two programs that have combined for 2,199 wins and 14 state championships. The first two girls programs in Illinois to win over 1,000 games as Teutopolis and Marshall for your 2A title. And hi again, everybody. Dave Bernhardt along with Rachel Galligan coming to you from Redbird Arena. And how about this? 1 year ago, we've heard about it before in the semifinals. Marshall was shut out in the first quarter, fell behind 17-2, only to come back and win in double overtime over Teutopolis. That was the semifinals last year. A little different tonight. We've got a championship at stake.
This is such an incredible rematch between two heavy hitter programs in the state of Illinois. Both teams hold such a rich basketball tradition, and they've both become very accustomed to being on this stage.
Coaches will tell you, okay, they'll say players win games, coaches don't, but we're not going to buy any of that because somebody has to put these players in position to succeed, and we've got two of the great ones here tonight. I
mean, we really do. I mean, you could start with Teutopolis head coach Lori Thompson. Was a player at T-Town and won a state title. She won a state title there as an assistant coach, but she has not won one as the head coach. She took over the program and has instilled those core values of defensive principles and really getting after it on that end of the floor. Lori Thompson has done a tremendous job with the Lady Shoes program. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got Marshall's head coach, the legendary Dorothy Gators, who started the program 44 years ago. The Hall of Fame head coach was inducted back in 2000. She's made 27 trips to the finals, 9 titles under her belt. She's going to look to add her 10th to her trophy case tonight. And that trophy they're playing for, it's sitting out back, waiting to come here to Redbird Arena. There's going to be 32 minutes of basketball. Unless, like last year, we need a little extra. Your Class 2A state title coming up next, Teutopolis and Marshall.
I was in a terrible accident when I was 14 years old. My recovery was a challenge, to say the least. What I have learned from this experience has inspired me to help others overcome their obstacles. My name is Stephen Carroll, and I'm a country financial representative. I do what I do now to help people achieve their goal, one step at a time.
Find a representative at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
All across America, teenagers are making a difference, gaining respect, and changing the future. Here in Illinois, the future is now. 16 and 17-year-olds can now register to be organ tissue donors in Illinois. Nearly 5,000 people in our state need a life-saving organ, and about 300 people die every year waiting. Be part of the solution. Join the Illinois Secretary of State's Organ Tissue Donor Registry. Register at lifegoeson.com.
This event is brought to you by Champion. Since 1919, Champion has created the durable, authentic sportswear you need to conquer your goals. As the official uniform and apparel provider for the NFHS, Champion helps athletes at every level make their mark, the mark of a champion. View our apparel today at champion.com.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, before our soloist sings our national anthem, we ask you to remember and honor the men and women of the United States Armed Forces serving throughout the world with this moment of silence. Thank you. And now we ask that you join our guest soloist, Abby Ankrum, a senior student at Triad High School, in the singing of our national anthem.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, wood's broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous glorious fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Teutopolis, thanks to the 50-31 win.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineups for this championship game of the 2019 IHSA Girls Basketball Class 2A State Finals. First from Teutopolis, a senior number 1, Morgan Meddy. Number 2, a senior, Savannah Grimes. Number 10, a senior, Sadie Beaker. Number 11, a sophomore, Lexi Niebrugge. And number 45, a junior, Claire Busher. The Lady Shoes bring a 33-4 record into tonight's game and are coached by Lori Thompson. And now your starters for the Commandos of Marshall High School of Chicago. Number 14, a senior, Brandy Hudson. Number 20, a senior, Dashiera Butts. Number 21, a junior, Dejanay James. Number 23, a sophomore, Naya Zamudio. And number 25, a junior, Roquisha Sims. The Commandos bring a 26-8 record.
Well, that's the way you get things started here for a state championship ball game between the two most storied girls programs in Illinois, Marshall and Teutopolis. And boy, Rachel, you just feel that extra buzz here tonight, right at this moment.
A whole lot of extra buzz. This is, we can't describe to the viewers out there how big this game is, especially a semifinal rematch from last year where Marshall defeated Teutopolis in double overtime. This game brings a ton of energy behind it.
Let's welcome in the third member of our announcing team, and that's Joe Brand.
Dave, thank you very much. Here we are, the final game of the Class 2A for girls IHSA, all coming down to this. Now, we've got two very successful programs, but they're both looking to improve from their games last night. For Teutopolis, they're looking for a full-on effort. They didn't put their pedal to the metal until the second half. You heard head coach Lori Thompson talk about how that intensity needs to be brought on all 4 quarters, because this Marshall team is capable of doing just about everything. Guys, head coach Dorothy Gators can make this team do whatever she wants. They wanted aggressive yesterday. She got aggressive. We saw the 15-point comeback last year against this Teutopolis team. Marshall didn't have a lead until the 4th quarter yesterday. They can't be counted out of any game whatsoever, especially the state championship game. And for head coach Dorothy Gators, 9 state championships. But the really cool thing is she hasn't won back-to-back since 1993. So this one meaning just a little bit more.
You know, out of those 9 state championships, Joe, they have come against 9 different programs. This would be the 10th. Teutopolis and Marshall. You go from Chicago, you go to southeastern Illinois. And we're underway from Redbird Arena, your Class 2A state championship.
Marshall sets up in their 2-3 zone. That's their primary defense. As T-Town looks into Claire Busher, she was big in the first half, the semifinal game last night. Being able to get it inside against that Marshall zone is going to be a key to this game.
She had that big first half en route to a double-double. She finished with 13 points and 10 rebounds for the 5'10 junior. Here's Roquisha Sims. Sims getting the start tonight. Sims, a 12.7 rebound effort last night in the win over Hillsborough. Sims to Naya Zamudio. Zamudio, good score. Knocked away inside. Busher denied Brandy Hudson the ball. Jeff Koppel, Mark Provansik, and Jeff Roop working your state championship ball game tonight. They're looking for Busher again. That time it was Hudson stepping in the middle of it. Here's Dashiera Butts, end to end. We've played a minute 15. 1 bucket in the game that belongs to T-Town. Morgan Meddy up top to Lexi Niebrugge. Busher tied up. Arrow belongs to Marshall. Lori Thompson, the head coach. As Rachel mentioned earlier, she is looking for her first state championship as a head coach. Picked up her 350th win just before the playoffs started. How about that? About an 80% winning percentage for Lori Thompson.
Not too shabby percentage right there.
Marshall, remember, shut out in the first quarter last year when these 2 teams played. And this is a defense for Teutopolis. They have given up an average through the playoffs, through 6 games, of 30 points per game. They only gave up 31 last night in the semifinals.
Yeah, and that defense is such a vital role to what they're trying to do. Something that they're all bought into on that end of the floor. They hang their hat on it. Head coach Lori Thompson said, you know, offense wins games, defense wins championships. You can't be a part of this T-Town team if you are not willing to play defense and dive on the floor just like that.
Claire Busher with the basket at one end. Lexi Niebrugge the steal at the other. Up top to Sadie Beaker. What a game she had last night. 17 points, 13 of them coming in the 4th quarter in the semifinal win over St. Joe Ogden. Beaker, baseline, not there. And now she's in trouble. To Busher. Up top, Niebrugge. Ring it up.
High arcing 3 there by Niebrugge. She had a lot of time to get that one off. That crowd lit up as soon as that went through the net.
7-0 here in the first 3 minutes. Dejanay James with it. Naya Zamudio, she scored 10 last night. Knocked away again. 3rd turnover for the Commandos. Meddy will kick out. 3 again. Rebound, touch last by Zamudio. Exactly the start that Teutopolis would want. Pitching the shutout early. And getting the scoring inside and now out for a 7-0 lead.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
When I was looking at different universities, I didn't want to choose a campus just for football. I needed a school that offered strong academics. At UNI, I discovered a program that gave me hands-on experience and connected me with industry professionals. I gained a better understanding of what it takes to be successful in a competitive industry. UNI helped me discover my passion of meeting people and telling important community-driven stories. Discover where you belong at the University of Northern Iowa.
In a hurry but want a fresh, affordable meal to serve your family or friends? Biaggi's Pronto Packs make it easy to enjoy an authentic Italian meal at home or on the go. Perfect for small groups and starting at just $30. The Pronto Pack comes with pasta, 2 pizzas, a salad, and bread with Biaggi's delicious butter for dipping. Biaggi's can take care of your large group as well with their delicious party pans. With 6 Illinois locations, Biaggi's Carryout's the perfect solution for your busy lifestyle. Dorothy Gators, you want some numbers? How about those? 85% winning percentage, 44 years, 1,132 victories. She has 9 state championships, the first one coming in 1982. How old were you then?
I wasn't alive.
I know you were not.
I was -5 years old back then in 1982. But how about Dorothy Gators? My goodness, we are truly in the presence of a basketball legend. She was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. Very prestigious honor back in 2000 and very known throughout the basketball world, and rightfully so.
She has a team that is having a shutout pitched against them here early. This will be a very patient T-Town offense. Olivia Niemerg in the game, super 6th person off the bench for Teutopolis. Niemerg last night had 7 points and 3 boards off the bench. She has it now. Ball hanging around on that left side of the floor. They'll look to get a little balance here. It comes to Medi. Open for Niemerg. 3-pointers will give you long rebounds, and Lexi Niebrugge, the sophomore, will track it down. Leading scorer on the season for the Lady Shoes.
I love the patience of the T-Town offense. This Marshall team wants to play fast. The way they speed up the game, it can get out of hand very quickly. And Teutopolis is doing a tremendous job of being patient, taking care of the basketball, working for a great shot.
And Marshall forced to foul Busher. If they had not, she would have had an easy path to the basket.
Marshall foul on 14, Brandy Hudson.
Randy Hudson, the 5'9" senior, will pick up that personal foul from the corner. Rebound snatched out of there by Ashante Kaiser, the junior, off the bench for the Commandos. Rashiera Butts, the kick out, 3-ball, got it. Boy, nothing but the bottom of the net for Ashante Kaiser. First points of the game for Marshall come at the 2:45 mark of the first quarter.
Great job there by Butts. Really did a good job of turning the corner, getting past the Teutopolis defender, kicking it out to her teammate. That's what she can do for this Marshall team. Her head coach Gators called her the Energizer Bunny as T-Town responds with a big-time 3.
Lexi Niebrugge from the top of Redbird Arena. We trade 3, 7-point difference. Butts back to Rocretia Sims. She's going to try her luck. The inside position to Sadie Beeker, and she'll draw the foul on Dashiera Butts. Ashante Kaiser on one end for Marshall, answered on the other by the sophomore Lexi Niebrugge. 10-3 lead for T-Town. Marshall, a little bit of trapping action forces the turnover. That's the third giveaway by the Lady Shoes.
And that was one area that the Lady Shoes, you know, in any of their losses, any games that they've struggled in this year, it's been from the turnover standpoint. So that is a vital role to what they're trying to do, especially against this smothering, trapping Marshall defense. They've got to do a good job of taking care of the basketball, valuing it each and every single possession, because if you're giving that away to Marshall, they're capable of really converting those to a ton of fast break points.
Here in the half court, Lucretia Sims, baseline. Never really got the handle, and Buck's going to pick up another one. 2 quick fouls on Dashiera Bucks. And she will leave this game, replaced by Dejanay James.
And that's a big blow. I mean, Butts was a major factor into their semifinal win.
She was 8 of 12 from the floor, 17 points, 9 rebounds. Remember, she fouled out last night with about 3 minutes to play, so 2 quick ones here for Butts. Clear path for Meddy. Morgan Meddy to a 9-point lead.
Credit to Claire Busher on that possession. Did a tremendous job of holding off the Marshall defender so Meddy could have a clean look to the basket. It was a great job there by the junior.
Only points on the board for Marshall. Ashante Kaiser's 3 from the corner. And now Teutopolis looking for a double-digit lead. Marshall will get back, and here comes Sims. Up top, Zamudio. 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. And Lori Thompson says 1. Looking for 1 shot here. Niebrugge with 20. Now down to 15.
Marshall has switched to a man-to-man. They will go back and forth throughout the course of a quarter, depending on makes and misses.
Sadie Beaker can't get it. Loose ball to Zamudio. She did not get it off in time. And Teutopolis, thanks to a 5-0 run to end the quarter. They'll head to quarter number 2 on top of the defending state champs, 12-3.
I remember over the summer, Coach Ellis coming up to me and saying, we might have a family moving here from France.
My name is Louis.
My name is Lola.
And I just moved here in Evanston 3 months ago.
Basketball has a way of holding you accountable.
That's what's great about sports, is it's about habits. You know, you're building habits.
Always.
The NFHS Learning Center is the leader in online education for the interscholastic community. At nfhslearn.com, you can find over 60 courses for coaches, administrators, officials, parents, students, and performing arts programs, including over 25 free courses such as concussion in sports, heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest, and protecting students from abuse. For more information, visit the NFHS Learning Center.
Normal, the best place to stay is the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, conveniently located just off I-55 and Veterans Parkway. The Holiday Inn Express is just minutes from food and shopping, as well as the Illinois State and Illinois Wesleyan campuses. Visit ihg.com or call 309-862-1600 for reservations. A slow start here for Marshall, a good start for Teutopolis. This is what it looked like in the semifinal game last year between these two teams, a score by quarters ending up And eventually a double overtime win for Marshall, 46-43. And here, Rachel, after 1 quarter of play, very similar, 12-3 Teutopolis lead.
It's almost a little bit eerie, isn't it?
It is.
In terms of kind of how this game has started. And both of these teams understand who they're playing against. They've been there before. The scoreboard doesn't mean a whole lot right now. What matters is really being effective on the offensive end and executing your defense on that end of the floor and coming up with big-time stops.
You just described Teutopolis to a T, so to speak, as Claire Busher inside for the 11-point lead. Busher with 6 of those 14 points. There's the 5'10 junior. Claire Busher, junior high state record holder in the shot, and she's the T-Town record holder in the shot and discus. Busher, all 6 of her points, all 6 of Teutopolis points in the paint. Tough shot will go. Dejanay James. Meddy, the short little jumper, will get it to go. Morgan Meddy with her second basket. Let's check in with Joe Brand.
Dave, despite Teutopolis continuing this run through the first 10 minutes, I think the main word you've got to pull is composure. Obviously, the Lady Shoes showing that composure with the scoreboard, but there's really no frantic coming from the Marshall bench. Everybody understanding their job. Head coach Dorothy Gators mainly said, we need at least a deflection every time Teutopolis comes down the floor. They're having difficulty breaking up these plays.
Thank you very much, Joe. As we saw last night at about this time, another one inside to Busher, and that one comes out. Last night about this time when Marshall fell behind Hillsborough, you saw frustration into the second quarter, and you're right, we do not see it tonight. Oh my goodness, Lucretia Sims.
How about that athletic, tremendous finish? That was, she spun that ball just perfectly right off that glass, able to convert the 2 points. Big time bucket that Marshall needed.
Nieberg, the kick out. Another high arcing 3 attempt. And here comes Sims. Commandos on the run. They will not stop. The miss from Sims. A rebound from Meddy.
And that's what T-Town has to do. If they're going to run the break as fast as they are, as Marshall's doing it, they can get them to miss. Securing rebounds. T-Town's right now out-rebounding Marshall 9-3. It's a tremendously, huge stat in this game. Something T-Town has got to maintain if they want to have a shot at beating Marshall.
Roquisa Sims. Here's a little spin for you.
Love that.
Dorothy Gator says she's sometimes better coming off the bench because sometimes she becomes a bit too hyper. Well, Sims got the start here tonight and gets that key bucket right there. You know, you look up at the board, 16-7, a 9-point difference, but we've seen down here with Marshall, that really doesn't mean anything. They are so explosive. Up ahead, though, exploding is Morgan Meddy. Meddy, a great track star, cross-country runner for Teutopolis. Contact on the way to the basket for Niebrugge.
That was something that T-Town head coach Lori Thompson emphasized last night in the semifinals. She didn't feel like they were being aggressive enough in terms of putting it on the floor, getting it to the rim, try and get ourselves to the free throw line. That's a part of their game they really want to make sure they implement in this game tonight.
Lexi Niebrugge at the line. She had 9 points last night. She has 7 tonight. She's been the most consistent scorer this year. 12 points per game. She's the only player for Teutopolis in double figures on the season. Jalen Jimenez into the ball game for Marshall. Good outside shooter. She's going to get it right now. Jimenez will get it to James. Didn't like it there. Set it again to Hudson. And that was Niemer getting a hand on the ball, forcing the turnover. 5th of the game for Marshall, even up on turnovers at 5 apiece. Niebrugge thought about it. Meddy the drive. Teutopolis another chance. A little hectic at the moment, but the calming force, Sadie Beaker, will draw the foul.
And you saw Sadie Beaker in that last possession when T-Town was able to come up with the stop. Looked at her teammates and just kind of said, hey, relax, calm down, take a deep breath. She didn't like the pace of the game, trying to maintain that composure, and that's exactly what she can do.
All across America, teenagers are making a difference, gaining respect, and changing the future. Here in Illinois, the future is now. 16 and 17-year-olds can now register to be organ tissue donors in Illinois. Nearly 5,000 people in our state need a life-saving organ, and about 300 people die every year waiting. Be part of the solution. Join the Illinois Secretary of State's Organ Tissue Donor Registry. Register at lifegoeson.com.
We started growing pumpkins and selling pumpkins in a roadside stand the first year my 10-year-old was born. People come, pick out their pumpkins, and they put their money in the box. We have the kids help out on the farm, and they get to keep the money for their college savings. With my kids and my customers, my goal is to improve their situation.
With Country Financial, if you just take simple steps, preparing for college isn't as overwhelming as you think. Find an authorized representative near you at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
Stream your favorite Chicago teams wherever you are with the My Teams app by NBC Sports. Follow your pro teams like a pro. Download the My Teams app today. Savannah Grimes tore her ACL a year ago, didn't get to play in the state tournament, so we just kind of figured you ought to know a little bit about the 5'6" senior from T-Town. It will be Teutopolis basketball underneath their own basket. There's Savannah's story.
Secret talent is Guitar Hero. That's a great game. Dream Job and Oceanographer. It went away too quick. I wasn't able to see the last one, but
Jimmy Butler is her favorite player. Zamudio on a drive the other way.
that's a great take there by Zamudio. Good job drawing the contact. Pushing tempo, as we've seen so many times. Draws the contact, getting herself to the free throw line. A big stat in this game. Both teams, especially late in the second half, coming down to the wire. That could play an important role in this win tonight.
Zamudio will get the first double figures last night for Naya Zamudio. The starter last year for this Marshall team that won a state championship. Just a sophomore. Let's check in with Joe Brand on more on Naya Zamudio.
Guys, obviously a unique situation with Naya Zamudio. She kind of went pretty heart to heart with me a couple of days ago, talking about how she just got mixed in with the wrong crowd. It took her family and her deep friends to bring her back to the game of basketball, and obviously a step in the right direction and the right path for her.
She came back midway through this season after deciding that she did not want to play, and as Joe said, kind of got things put together, and here she is. Yet her team trails by 11 as Lexi Nidberge will pick up her 9th point of the night. .350 to play. Marshall looking for its first double figures. There it is. It's a 3-ball, and it comes. Jalen Jimenez, 19 to 11. So it took a quarter and a half for Marshall to get into double digits. Last year when these two teams played, Commandos trailed 17 to 2. Ended up winning double overtime, 46 to 43. Busher inside. She's had her way there tonight.
My goodness, that's a great job there by Busher. She actually dodged 2 defenders. She's very advanced in her ability to understand where the defenders are at, able to get around them. As a former post player myself, it is not easy to do what she just did on the block there.
Nidberge fouled on the way to the basket. One of the goals is to get number 45 the ball.
You see, she really did a great job of pushing the Marshall defenders up the lane line. That's something that's taught at an advanced level, like at the college play, in terms of pushing your defender up the lane line, giving yourself a little bit more room to work with down on the block. Now, Marshall did have a defender there when the ball was lobbed in. That was a tremendous pass. The defender was there, but Busher was able to dodge her and finish right around the basket. She's got good hands, and she's having herself a big one so far tonight.
Put together Lexi Niebrugge with those 2 free throws. Claire Busher, that's 19 of the 23 points scored by the Lady Shoes. 12-point lead, under 3 minutes to play, the biggest of the night. James, an opening. Oh, nice dash inside to Jimenez.
And that's a great job by Marshall recognizing the mismatch. They got Busher to come out on the perimeter. Were able to kind of get by her, draw the defender, dish it off to the open teammate. It's a great job of taking advantage of a mismatch.
Busher, big target inside, had those arms spread wide. Oh, what a move from Claire Busher. She's putting on a clinic tonight.
She is playing with so much confidence right now. Down there on the block, she wants the ball. She's demanding the ball down there.
2 minutes to play in the first half and a 12-point lead for Teutopolis over the 9-time champion Marshall Commandos. And coming right back with the bucket is Dejanay James, her second basket of the night. Remember, Marshall playing without Dashiera Butts, picked up 2 early fouls. She's been on the Marshall bench since about midway through the first quarter. Meddy with the spin. Now 2 free throws to show for it.
Good aggressive take there by Meddy. Capitalizing on those keys to their win, getting themselves to the free throw line, making Marshall make a play. Being able to get by the defenders, attack the basket, be aggressive. That's something that Coach Lori Thompson's going to continue to preach deep into that second half.
Meddy, the school record holder in the 400 meters. Gonna run track in college. 77% free throw shooter. Sorry about that, Morgan. Randy Hudson back in along with Niebrugge, replacing Savannah Grimes for Teutopolis. She misses them both.
We've got a lane violation. She's going to get another look at it as Shanti Kaiser fell into the lane just a split second too early.
Every point is an important one in a state championship ball game, and Meddy gets one there in the lead, back to 11. In traffic, Hudson forces it up enough to head to the line with 1:19 to play here in the first half. Randy Hudson had 11 points last night, missed some time with a sore ankle that she suffered in last night's semifinal. Scoreless here tonight. Actually, they'll say she was fouled on the drive to the basket, so no free throw. She'll inbound. Sims again. Raquisha Sims near the basket. She's going to make something happen.
And the momentum she brings with her when she's flying in there towards the rim, that's hard to stop. She's as agile and able to sidestep you. She sidestepped 2 T-Town defenders on that play.
That was a floating pass that Teutopolis lucky to come up with. And Olivia Niemerg unable to finish it. Here comes Sims again. Niemerg got in a passing lane. Jimenez end up with it, and Busher will get the foul.
Check out this basket. Sidestep, finishes right at the rim. She has tremendous body control with some momentum and an ability to finish when she's flying in there at that speed. It's not an easy shot to take.
Jalen Jimenez at the free throw line. She was a starter earlier this season, just didn't work out. So she's become more valuable coming off the bench. A 3-point threat by far for Marshall. Her scoring on the outside opens it up for Hudson on the inside, and she'll split her free throws. Commandos have gotten it within 8 here. Final 40 seconds of the first half. How much time will T-Town take off the clock? Niebrugge, the soft little touch inside, her 13th point. The lead back to 10 and right off the hands of Sims. Big turnover with 16 seconds left.
I really like the decision there by T-Town to go ahead and try and score with about 40 seconds left on the clock. That's a lot of time to try and hold it against a trapping Marshall defense. The risk of turning that over is probably pretty high. It paid off for them because they got the ball back.
Chance to hold here for the final shot. Beaker will get it off. That may have been taken just a bit too quick by her sister Hope Beaker, because there's almost 5 seconds left on the clock. Marshall has never led in this ball game. Remember, that was the case for a long time last year in the semifinals before they came back to win in double overtime. Now a race to beat the clock. Zamudio comes up short. And Teutopolis will head to the locker room in front of their fans. A huge contingent from T-Town. On the other side, Marshall will look up at the board. It's where they were last night, down by 10 at halftime before the Commandos rallied for a convincing 9-point win. Lori Thompson, head coach for Teutopolis, standing by with our Joe Brand.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. And Coach Thompson, your team up by 10, but you know what this Marshall team is capable of. What's the key to not letting up in the second half?
Keep playing the way we're playing. Keep boxing out hard like we're doing. Keep going to the basket. We just need to keep doing it efficiently and aggressively.
Specifically, what are you most pleased about your team so far?
I'm pretty happy that we're getting inside the way we are right now. Hopefully we continue to do that. If not, we'll make that adjustment.
You've been a player on this stage. What do you most remember mentally about finishing strong in this scenario?
Exactly. You got to come out mentally prepared. This first half means nothing right now, and that's what we'll talk about. We're going to come out and talk about how to play this second half even better.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck. Head coach Lori Thompson, her team up by 10. Big second half coming up next, guys.
When I was looking at different universities, I didn't want to choose a campus just for football. I needed a school that offered strong academics. At UNI, I discovered a program that gave me hands-on experience and connected me with industry professionals. I gained a better understanding of what it takes to be successful in a competitive industry. UNI helped me discover my passion of meeting people and telling important community-driven stories. Discover where you belong at the University of Northern Iowa.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
Quite the start for the Teutopolis Lady Wooden Shoes, a 10-point lead over the coveted Marshall team. I'm Joe Brand here at Redbird Arena. We're going to bring in Rachel Galligan, our sideline color analyst. And Rachel, T-Town just being T-Town right now. We know what Marshall's capable of, but what we know right now is the Wooden Shoes are doing just about everything right.
Well, the Lady Shoes are doing a tremendous job of, one, taking care of the basketball. You heard Coach Lori Thompson talk about their ability to block out and keep them at one and done. They're doing a great job on the glass and limiting Marshall's second chance opportunities. I think they're doing a tremendous job on the offensive end of the floor against that Marshall defense. You know, Marshall wants to get up and trap, and they're doing a really good job of passing out of those traps. You know, those traps are designed to force turnovers, and they've done a great job at taking care of it. Marshall right now with 0 points off Teutopolis turnovers. That's a major stat in this game.
Yeah, at the beginning of this game, Marshall just found nothing offensively, but that offense is starting to come along right now, and you got to feel like that's developing some chemistry for the Commandos.
Well, and I think we're going to see a little bit of a repeat of what we saw last night with Marshall in terms of what head coach Dorothy Gators was talking about be aggressive. You know, you have got to get it to the rim, allow our defense to fuel our offense. So it's going to start on the defensive end of the floor with them, I would imagine, ramping up that defensive pressure, ramping up those traps, being able to play out in the full court where they can push the ball in transition, get it to the rim, and play at the pace they want to play at.
We talked about the confidence, the composure that Marshall is having right now despite being down by 10. What does that say about this program? What does it say about the coaching staff?
Well, I think it's nothing unfamiliar for really either of these teams. You know, it's a little bit eerie, like we were saying, from last year. Marshall, and even last night, Marshall played from down 10 at half, and they came out and responded tremendously in the second half. They responded last year against Teutopolis and came out really efficient in the second half, able to come back, defeat Teutopolis after they had a big lead. And so I think T-Town on one end of the spectrum knows, as you heard Coach Lori Thompson say, that first half means nothing. We've got to come out and be even better defensively, offensively, taking care of the basketball. For Marshall, they've got to come out and ramp it up on the defensive end of the floor, get to that pace they want to play, but both teams have been in this scenario before.
All right, so a very big second half for our Class 2A state championship will be coming up shortly. Will we see history repeating itself, or will we see Teutopolis hanging on? We'll talk with head coach Dorothy Gators of Marshall next on NBC Sports Chicago.
I was in a terrible accident when I was 14 years old. My recovery was a challenge, to say the least. What I have learned from this experience has inspired me to help others overcome their obstacles. My name is Stephen Carroll, and I'm a country financial representative. I do what I do now to help people achieve their goal, one step at a time.
Find a representative at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
All across America, teenagers are making a difference, gaining respect, and changing the future. Here in Illinois, the future is now. 16 and 17-year-olds can now register to be organ tissue donors in Illinois. Nearly 5,000 people in our state need a life-saving organ, and about 300 people die every year waiting. Be part of the solution. Join the Illinois Secretary of State's Organ Tissue Donor Registry. Register at lifegoeson.com.
This event is brought to you by Champion. Since 1919, Champion has created the durable, authentic sportswear you need to conquer your goals. As the official uniform and apparel provider for the NFHS, Champion helps athletes at every level make their mark, the mark of a champion. View our apparel today at champion.com.
Get to a comfortable lead for Teutopolis, 10 points over Marshall. It's late February, but it feels like March Madness here at Redbird Arena. Carterville High School band performing for everyone here in Bloomington Normal. We're going to talk to Dorothy Gators, head coach of Marshall, coming up next here on NBC Sports Chicago.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Put it in a shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
When I was looking at different universities, I didn't want to choose a campus just for football. I needed a school that offered strong academics. At UNI, I discovered a program that gave me hands-on experience and connected me with industry professionals. I gained a better understanding of what it takes to be successful in a competitive industry. UNI helped me discover my passion of meeting people and telling important community-driven stories. Discover where you belong at the University of Northern Iowa.
I remember over the summer, Coach Ellis coming up to me and saying, we might have a family moving here from France.
My name is Louis.
My name is Roland.
And I just moved here in Evanston 3 months ago.
Basketball has a way of holding you accountable.
That's what's great about sports, is it's about habits. You know, you're building habits.
Always.
Getting set for the third quarter of action, second half of the Class 2A State Championship here from Redbird Arena. Don't go anywhere, third quarter coming up next.
The NFHS Learning Center is the leader in online education for the interscholastic community. At NFHSLearn.com, you can find over 60 courses for coaches, administrators, officials, parents, students, and performing arts programs, including over 25 free courses such as concussion in sports, heat illness prevention, sudden cardiac arrest, and protecting students from abuse. For more information, visit the NFHS Learning Center.
All across America, teenagers are making a difference, gaining respect, and changing the future. Here in Illinois, the future is now. 16 and 17-year-olds can now register to be organ tissue donors in Illinois. Nearly 5,000 people in our state need a life-saving organ, and about 300 people die every year waiting. Be part of the solution. Join the Illinois Secretary of State's Organ Tissue Donor Registry. Register at lifegoeson.com.
We started growing pumpkins and selling pumpkins in a roadside stand the first year my 10-year-old was born. People come, pick out their pumpkins, and they put their money in the box. We have the kids help out on the farm, and they get to keep the money for their college savings. With my kids and my customers, my goal is to improve their situation.
With Country Financial, if you just take simple steps, preparing for college isn't as overwhelming as you think. Find an authorized representative near you at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
Quarter of action here from Redbird Arena. We're talking with head coach Dorothy Gators. Coach, you have experience in coming back from these games, but it doesn't happen out of thin air, so what's the first plan of action?
Well, we want to play better defense, and of course we need to be better offensively. My two top scorers have a combined total of 2 points, so that makes it kind of difficult.
The offense is starting to come together, though, wouldn't you say? How important is that for the team's confidence?
Well, it's really important, but Brandy is like the heart and soul of the team. And I don't know if her knee's bothering her, but, you know, she's not being very active. If she's active, at least she's going to the foul line. So we want her to play much better the second half.
Coach, thank you for your time. Best of luck. Dave, Rachel, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Joe. And Rachel, it was interesting because Dorothy Gators kept her team in the locker room a long time. In fact, they came sprinting out. They were not late, but they knew that they were up against it time-wise.
Yeah, they only had a few seconds remaining as they were coming out of the locker room. As you heard Coach Gators talk about, not very happy with the effort on both ends of the floor from her Marshall squad. We'll see how they respond here early in the second half.
A little bit of pressure put on here by Teutopolis. Zamudio. That's deflected off of her foot and out of bounds, and that will become the 9th turnover of the night for Marshall. Speak of pressure.
These first 4 minutes of this game, this second half, it's going to be so important as to how these teams come out of the locker room and respond in terms of composure. Is Teutopolis going to be able to take advantage of a Marshall turnover there? They gave it right back. And is Marshall going to be able to remain composed being down 10 and given that effort they need to give on the offensive and defensive end of the floor? That's a good start.
So after not being able to get the ball in bounds, Teutopolis gives up a bucket to Dashiera Butts, her first points of this game. Remember, she was on the bench with foul trouble, a couple of fouls early in the game. Meddy, the bounce into the post. Busher goes up against Hudson. It will be Lady Shoes ball.
So far down the floor, we've seen T-Town continue to try and get it inside, especially in there to Busher. She's been able to be a massive impact in there on the block. Unable to connect so far this second half.
54 seconds into the third quarter. Dorothy Gators wants a timeout, and you can tell her direction is looking right at, that is Dashiera Butts along with Brandy Hudson. All right, so you got a basket, but yet coach is not happy.
I think it does. You know, Dashiera Butts brings that energy. She must have not liked what she saw that first minute of the game so far in the second half. You know, doesn't like the energy she's bringing. It starts with her in terms of her ability to be disruptive on the defensive end of the floor.
Well, Teutopolis able to get the ball once again inside to Busher. I've got to believe that was part of a conversation at halftime as well, that Claire Busher can't get good touches inside. Grimes will give it up to Beaker. Remember, Beaker's capable of scoring points in a hurry. And a bump, picking up the foul. Claire Bush with 10 points. Of course, all of hers coming in the paint. Other than that, 13 from Lexi Niebrugge. Come from the outside as Olivia Niemerg will check back in for Teutopolis.
That's what Teutopolis has to continue to do. They can't play side to side. They have to continue to be aggressive, look to get the ball inside the Busher, look to attack from the perimeter, make Marshall make a play, or potentially foul you, which they did that last possession, and again right there.
Meddy will go to the free throw line, and off the Marshall bench is Dejanay James. Dashiera Butts just picked up her third foul, and it comes a minute and a half into the third quarter. So Butts will leave, as well as Sims. Will be James and Jimenez on the floor now for the Marshall Commandos. Right back to that 10-point difference. Dorothy Gators asking for motion. Meddy steps in front. The track star wins the race down the field.
And that's a great job there by Meddy, anticipating that passing lane. She saw that ball coming. She was able to deflect it, convert that to an easy 2 points. Beating Marshall at their own game a little bit.
Hudson, the shovel inside to Jimenez. James. Marshall will have it. Here's Meddy, the steal. Score, and she pulls away at the finish line.
Turnovers, such an important stat in this game right now. Marshall's got 10, Teutopolis with 6.
There will be a held ball possession to the Commandos. Good work by our officiating crew. Got a couple of whistles blowing simultaneously. The nonverbal communication to get the call right. See that bandage on the left knee of Brandy Hudson. We thought it was an ankle injury the way she was moving around yesterday. And obviously, a little bit of a knee. She's working hard inside right now, though. Can't get it to her on the kick. 32-20 matches the biggest lead of this game. 5:43 to play in the third quarter. Your Class 2A state championship game from Redbird Arena in Normal, Illinois. And that's a 5 count.
And that Teutopolis crowd has erupted, almost everybody to their feet, forcing Marshall into a 5-second call. That's what that defense can do. They are so smothering with it. It causes so many frustrations, especially on an underneath out of bounds play.
Niemer, trouble. There's the deflections we heard Joe tell us that Dorothy Gators was asking for in the first half. Get a hand on the ball. Beaker will get it to Meddy. Open, 3, short. Boy, that would have erupted. The fans behind the Teutopolis bench had that gone. Once again, Hudson trying to battle inside. Busher playing behind her. Now in front. Sims has to force it, but there's James. That was a dangerous pass. Zamudio, though, will come hard. Boy, and the Commandos wanted that one to fall. They needed it to fall, because as we go to break, Marshall will look up at the scoreboard, trailing by a dozen.
When I was looking at different universities, I didn't want to choose a campus just for football. I needed a school that offered strong academics. At UNI, I discovered a program that gave me hands-on experience and connected me with industry professionals. I gained a better understanding of what it takes to be successful in a competitive industry. UNI helped me discover my passion of meeting people and telling important community-driven stories. Discover where you belong at the University of Northern Iowa.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Put it in a shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
How long do you want me to do this for?
NBC Sports Chicago is the home for IHSA Girls Basketball Championships. Coverage continues Friday with the Class 3A semifinals at 11 a.m. Of course, you can also live stream the game at NBCSportsChicago.com/IHSA. Weekend number 1 of 4 as part of America's original March Madness. We are ready to crown a Class 2A champion here after about another quarter and a half. Or if last year's game between these two teams as semifinals are any indication, we could play some extra time. Morgan Meddy, she has lit it up tonight for 9 points. Not a big scorer on the season. They had a couple last night. The free throw line, Naya Zamudio. She's the big scorer for Marshall. She along with Brandy Hudson. But Zamudio tonight, just a free throw. She'll get 2 here. Commandos just 2 of 5 from the line tonight. 32-21. Hope Beaker picks it up. Tough spot of the floor. Gets away with it. Niemerg to Niebrugge. To the top and Medi. Inside, Hope Beaker goes.
Wow. How about that play? And you know, arguably one of the best parts about that possession was they ran about 40 seconds off the clock. Keep talking about composure. That T-Town composure is they're in control of this game right now. Their ability to run some clock, take care of the basketball, deliver sound passes, and ones like that certainly don't hurt.
The biggest lead of the game at 14, 35-21 as we approach the midpoint of the third quarter. Still, Marshall does not appear rattled. Joe talked earlier about the composure, and we've not seen it crack yet. Zamudio can't get it. James, big offensive rebound and score for Dejanay James.
And that's how Marshall can get themselves going a little bit, by continuing to crash the offensive glass. They're going to take low percentage shots like that. Being able to crash, have 3 or 4 people flying in there at any time, they're going to give themselves some second and third chance opportunities.
But that was the first of the night for Marshall on second chance points. On the move is Raquisha Sims. Get her close to the basket, and she's going to find a way to score. 35-25. Marshall fans getting back into it. Well, you just have that sense. These last 3 minutes of this third quarter will be so vital to this game. Niebrugge off the hands of Beaker, and Marshall now will look to make it a single-digit game.
Now again, we're talking about the defending state champs here in Marshall. They're not just going to roll over. They've been in this situation many times before. They know how to put points on the board, and they know how to do it very quickly.
Marshall returns 8 players off that state title team from a year ago right here on this floor. Hudson, the assist to Jimenez. 17 points off the Marshall bench tonight, and they've cut the lead to 8. A 6-0 run in the last minute and a half. T-Town is now tested. Medi into the paint. And a steal from Jimenez. She has Zamudio on her right. What a steal from Olivia Niemerg. Spectacular.
How about that save? And then they stepped out of bounds. Tremendous effort there by T-Town to run it down, save the ball, and were unable to convert it by stepped out of bounds over there on the sideline. It'll be Marshall ball.
Do we feel things turning just a little bit here?
Absolutely. I think you can feel the energy in the gym. T-Town crowd a little bit quiet right now.
Long distance three. There it goes.
And if that's not a momentum shot, I don't know what is. She shot that about 7 feet, well beyond the arc.
A 5-point game, a 9-0 run, and Lori Thompson forced to call a timeout to avoid another turnover. Jalen Jimenez off the Marshall bench tonight for a team-high 11 points. And look where this comes from. That hasn't taken long to get Marshall right back in this game. They had trailed by 14. It was the biggest deficit of the night.
That's a great timeout for Teutopolis, just to settle things down a little bit. I have to imagine that head coach Lori Thompson's in the huddle right now talking to her team, saying, hey, this is that run we knew they would go on. You guys have to remain composed, play our game, and do what we have to do to get ourselves back on the board.
Double-digit deficits have not stymied Marshall. Recent note, last year in the semifinals, championship game, down by double digits. Last night, they won all those ball games. Tonight, they got down by 14, now trailing by 5. Savannah Grimes will get it to Niemer. She'll attack the basket. Randy Hudson picks up her second foul. Quisha Sims with 2, but remember Dashiera Butts with 3. Nienberg, somebody you'd like to have at the line, 82% free throw shooter for the Lady Shoes. Her first point of the night. Teutopolis gets a couple of points out of that possession and a little bit of breathing room. Gianna Smith comes into the ball game. She started last night, her first appearance here tonight for Marshall. Naya Zamudio to bring it up. Jimenez, they come out and get her this time. Penetration in the block from behind by Niemerg, and she'll come away with it. Meddy will pick up the dribble and hand it to Beaker. To the cutting Niemerg, and she'll go back to the line. How about the patience for Teutopolis?
Great patience and really good job of taking care of the basketball on the perimeter. Sound passes. First, check out this block from behind. Tremendous anticipation and big time stop. That surely would have been 2 points for Marshall.
And he used every bit of the rim. Four straight free throws from Olivia Niemerg has pushed the lead from 5 to 9. Big possession here for Marshall as we wind down the third quarter. And that's a double dribble. Well, dare I say, a big possession here for Teutopolis as we wind down the third quarter.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate turnover for Marshall, who had an opportunity to continue into this 9-point lead. Just an unforced turnover there by Zamudio.
We're under 20 here in the third. Beaker will get it to Niebrugge. Niebrugge will power away to the basket and leave it short. And there's time for the Commandos. Here comes James to Jimenez, the spin. And so it will be a 9-point lead for Teutopolis at the end of 3. Last year in the semifinals, Teutopolis led by 6 after 3 before losing in double overtime to Marshall. We're going to the fourth.
I was in a terrible accident when I was 14 years old. My recovery was a challenge, to say the least. What I have learned from this experience has inspired me to help others overcome their obstacles. My name is Stephen Carroll, and I'm a country financial representative. I do what I do now to help people achieve their goal, one step at a time.
Find a representative at TakeSimpleSteps.com.
All across America, teenagers are making a difference, gaining respect, and changing the future. Here in Illinois, the future is now. 16 and 17-year-olds can now register to be organ tissue donors in Illinois. Nearly 5,000 people in our state need a life-saving organ, and about 300 people die every year waiting. Be part of the solution. Join the Illinois Secretary of State's Organ Tissue Donor Registry. Register at lifegoeson.com.
Class 2A state championship coming down to the wire here in the fourth quarter, but one of the funnest things about covering this event is talking to the team and seeing the little nuances that they do for team building exercises. Teutopolis especially, guys, they have an infatuation with a little thing we like to call fun dip. The teammates call it shooting dust. The coach calls it turnover prevention. Whatever they call it, both are working right now. The wooden shoes leading in the shooting percentage. They're winning the turnover battle. I'm going to enjoy my fun dip in the fourth quarter, and I'm not the only one.
Well, you wonder what people do during breaks. I'm telling you, folks, it's a long weekend.
Gotta have the sugar. I need some. Where's mine?
Oh, Kip. Go ahead, Rachel. Find your. Oh dear. You silly kids.
I haven't had fun dip in about 20 years.
Well, I'm very proud you didn't make much of a mess either. Oh my. Well, if it's shooting dust or turnover prevention, I'm not sure what it is for our TV crew.
Pure sugar.
That's indeed.
Adrenaline.
There's a little bit of that going around this arena right now. T-Town with the ball in the first 30 seconds here of the fourth quarter of your Class 2A state championship game. To Busher. She didn't see many touches in the third quarter, and that touch results in a travel. Busher scoreless in the third after a 10-point first half. Still no panic in the eyes of Marshall.
We're going to see a little bit of a Teutopolis zone. They will switch to that 2-3 at times, out of a break or after a timeout. Just give a little bit of a different look. You see their hands up, trying to cover as much space as possible. That's important when playing zone.
Butts back into the game, and she is unable to save it. It'll be interesting to see for Dashiera Butts, you see her right there, how quickly she can get into the rhythm of the game. She has spent most of this game on a Commandos bench. Here comes Beaker. How much time will the Lady Shoes take off the clock on this possession? It took about 30 seconds off the last time they had it, resulted in a turnover. A clock time nevertheless. Busher wanted it, taking it away. Transition. Meddy gets in the middle of it. Butts is there. And it will be Zamudio away with it. Zamudio for three. There's James, out hustles everybody for the rebound and score.
Hustle was right. James just flew in there. No one put a body on her. Those second chance points. That's everything to Marshall right now.
39-32. Tough shot in traffic for Beaker. And that may be number 4 on Butts. I'll make that Raquisha Sims. Third foul on Sims.
Just a little bit too much arm, wrapped her up, and she's trying to secure that rebound. You see both teams are just giving this everything they have right now.
Teutopolis led by 14 in the third quarter. Marshall got it within 5 on a 9-0 run. A 7-point difference, 5:45 to play. Marshall bidding for its 10th state championship in school history. T-Town looking for its 6th, and Sadie Beaker, first points of the night, makes it a 9-point Lady Shoes lead.
And that's a big-time shot right there by Sadie Beaker. She came up big in the fourth quarter yesterday, semifinal win. She's that composed leader on this team that understands time and score, understands the value of possessions and smart shots.
Here she is again. But she can fly. Inside position for Beaker, and a foul on the Commandos.
And we are now in the 1-1. Marshall just committed their 7th foul, so Teutopolis will be shooting free throws for the remainder of this game. On the other end of that, T-Town with only 1 foul, so still a ways to go before Marshall is shooting free throws. This is a major advantage for the Lady Shoes if they can maintain this composure, get to the free throw line, be efficient, knock down their free throws.
Beaker 85% from the line this year, 35 of 41. The lead is 10. Hudson the board. Commandos on the move. Zamudio, good three-point shooter, it goes!
How about that shot by Zamudio? Oh my goodness, that was a gutsy shot to take, and she's confident with it, that's for sure.
Well, she had that in her head all the way down the floor. Niebrugge passes up the 3. Meddy, the handoff to Busher, to Beaker. 4.5 to play in your 2A championship game. It never got to Busher. Hudson, she'll drive, goes with the left hand.
And that's what Marshall does. They really punch you with those turnovers. Every time T-Town has tried to throw the ball inside to Busher so far late in this game, Marshall's been big, being able to come up with some big-time deflections, which is what head coach Dorothy Gators talked about coming out of half.
Converting on the other end. 5 straight scored by Marshall, but Busher's able to get there. Her first points of the second half. We're under 4 minutes to play. And Dorothy Gators wants a timeout. It comes with 3:40 on the clock. Naya Zamudio trying to lead a comeback. She buried a 3. And then it was Brandy Hudson with the left hand, barely a sore knee, down by 7.
This event is brought to you by Champion. Since 1919, Champion has created the durable, authentic sportswear you need to conquer your goals. As the official uniform and apparel provider for the NFHS, Champion helps athletes at every level make their mark, the mark of a champion. View our apparel today at champion.com.
You can spend it on anything. Animals and toys. I would buy a really, really, really big house. A motorcycle. I would go to college right now. Money. Shoe. Coats or watches. Anything.
Join us next week where we'll be right back here at Redbird Arena for the girls' 3A and 4A state finals. Tickets are available at the Redbird Arena box office or by going to the girls' basketball tab at the IHSA's website, IHSA.org. Super sectionals for 3A and 4A girls coming up on Monday, and by Monday night we will know who the 8 teams will be here next weekend. Marshall has battled from behind the entire game. They have never led. They fell behind early. They trailed 7-0 early. They've scored 5 of the last 7 points here to narrow this to a 7-point deficit. Brandy Hudson will have to try to gut it through the last 3:40 here of regulation. You've heard Dorothy Gator say she's the heart and soul of our team, so she's not coming off this floor. Still no panic in the Commandos with 3.5 left. Down by 7. Hudson, stop to Dejanay James. Hudson will back her way in. Busher a hand on the ball. Turnover. 5-on-4 advantage for Teutopolis with Hudson trailing the play. But the Lady Shoes are in no hurry here. 3 minutes left in a 7-point lead. Foul on Jimenez. That will send Meddy to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. And Brandy Hudson is at a tough tournament health-wise.
Got hit in the face there a little bit, and still limping on that leg a little bit from semifinal game. Her knee still a little bit swollen. She's gotten banged up these last couple days, that is for sure.
Morgan Meddy at the free throw line. A 1-and-1, can't get that first one. Now the Commandos in a hurry. Giovanna Swift. And she's got a chance for a three-point play. Just off the bench, Gianna Smith with her first basket of the night.
It was close, but that's the right call. Great job by Marshall, really advanced that ball quick off the missed free throw. Bit of a break for Marshall as T-Town missed that one, but Marshall turned around and missed one themselves.
Zamudio just could not rope it in. Let's check in with Joe.
Gianna Smith in that aggressive drive down to the basket. One of the things she said 2 nights ago was how much this team chemistry has built over this regular season. She said, sometimes you need to build heart, sometimes you're just born with it. She said, personally, she has heart.
As she showed it in the last drive, and Dejanay James shows it there. We have a 3-point game. 2.5 to play. A 9-2 run for the Commandos have put them right here. It's become a possession-by-possession game. Nieberg back to Meddy. Good patience here. We are under 2 minutes to play. What was once a 14-point lead is now at 3.
Teutopolis really using a lot of clock here, but that's what you risk when you try to run that much off the clock. Turnovers down the stretch have been the reason Marshall has been able to storm back into this very quickly.
A long one would tie it. We have 90 seconds to play. Sims to Kaiser, three-point shooter. And got it!
How about that shot? Marshall ties it up with 1:20 remaining in the game.
Nieberg will attack. And Lori Thompson will take a timeout as the Commandos will head to their bench. They've scored 12 of this game's last 14 points to tie it at 44 with $1:11 to play. It's our first tie of the night since we tossed the ball up to start this ball game. The Commandos never lost their composure, and a comeback has come in many different forms.
Started with a big-time three by Zamudio. You see Brandy Hudson taking it hard to the rim, and really everything from Marshall trying to get it to the rim and picking up that aggression. And it starts on the defensive end of the floor. The pressure that Marshall's been able to apply late in this fourth quarter has just been smothering to Teutopolis at times and forced them into 13 turnovers. T-Town only had 5 at half. It's 8 so far this second half, and Marshall's been able to convert those.
Last 2 years here in the state finals, the Commandos have been in this position 4 times. Double-digit deficits. They've come back to win their first 3. Pressure up front from Smith. Sophomore Lexi Niebrugge had a big first half. Loose ball, and it will go to the Commandos with 50 seconds to play.
And that Marshall crowd is up, and they are active. There may not be a ton of them. They are completely outnumbered by this Teutopolis crowd, but they are as loud as ever, trying to will this Marshall team to their 2nd straight title since '93.
This will be the first time tonight that Marshall will have the ball with the chance to take the lead, and it's coming with 44 seconds left.
You can't make it up, really.
You know, but when it was 14 points, you really did not feel like a normal 14-point lead.
No, I don't think any lead against a Marshall team you can ever feel completely comfortable with, you know. And we talk about their offense, we talk about their ability to convert turnovers, but what they've done from a defensive standpoint, especially in this fourth quarter alone, in the full court, from 5-second calls to being able to get up and trap, it's got Teutopolis a little bit rattled. You know, we've seen T-Town some forced turnovers, some unforced turnovers, and composure for T-Town was going to be such the biggest key in so many ways, and an ability to come up with stops and convert down the stretch is what it comes down to. And right now, T-Town in their element on the defensive end of the floor. They need a big stop right now.
Well, you speak of turnovers. Marshall has converted Teutopolis turnovers into 14 points, and in that comeback that we've seen, 5 different players scoring the 5 baskets to lead the Commandos back into this tie.
And at halftime, they had no points off turnovers, so that's how effective this has been. That's really the story of this second half for this Marshall defense.
19 points off the bench tonight for the Commandos. Down to the final 40 seconds, and Hudson didn't see it. What a break that Zamudio was there. Oh my. Hudson fouled. That will be the 3rd team foul on Teutopolis. Let's see if they say that Hudson was headed up with the shot. She was. She will get 2 free throws, 72% free throw shooter on the year.
And that's your senior, that's your heart and soul of this team, averaging 18 points a game. She hasn't been highly effective offensively tonight, but she misses her first one there. You got to imagine she wants the ball in her hands down the stretch. It's exactly where Coach Gators wanted it as well.
The first Marshall lead of the game comes with 32 seconds left. Here comes T-Town. Beaker throws it right into the hands of Sims. Rapricia Sims. She will go to the line, or will they say it's on the floor?
I think they're saying it's on the floor. It is, it's on the floor.
22 seconds left.
Head coach Lori Thompson's going to look for a timeout here. I think that's a smart decision by Coach.
Teutopolis with a couple of fouls to give. Only 4 team fouls here in this half. We have an assist to the game. It's presented by the Gift of Hope, and it belongs to Marshall. Dejanay James, a little wraparound. Jalen Jimenez, your gift of hope. Assist of the game goes to Dejanay James. Do the Commandos go back-to-back? Do they pick up their 10th straight title? Or does Teutopolis win the first title for Lori Thompson as a head coach in the 6th in school history? Here's your score by quarters tonight. Look at the fourth quarter. Look at the first quarter for Teutopolis. 12-3 advantage, and that has been matched here in the fourth. The 1-point difference on the board right now at 45-44. Last year, this game went to double overtime in the semifinals, 46-43. That was double overtime. And now the Commandos will have to get the ball inbounds. And again, Teutopolis has 2 fouls to give. Dejanay James to inbound.
If you're T-Town, you really want to face guard, see if you can come up with a deflection, get yourself a steal, maybe even a 5-second call.
Boy, that was close. That's team foul number 5. Still another one to give. Only took about a second off the clock. We've already seen a couple of 5-second calls, one each way tonight. Yeah, who's going to take this ball out? It'll be James. Tough angle here. They'll get it into Zamudio. Okay, now they've used him up. 19.7 left. Now if you're looking for somebody to foul for Marshall, Gianna Smith not on the floor. She is the weakest free throw shooter on this team. Sims able to control, and it will be Raquisha Sims, 62% from the line this year. She has not shot a free throw tonight. Sims with a 1-and-1. And that's a big one right there. Makes this second one just a wee bit easier, if you can say it's easier, with 17 seconds left in the state championship game. And it is a 3-point lead. Niemer will take that timeout. 11.7 left. Marshall, 15-2 run to take a 3-point lead with under 12 seconds to play.
Can't say enough about the grit of Marshall and their ability to respond, even when getting down and when they don't have the momentum, say they're not getting calls. T-Town, Teutopolis had a lot going for them in terms of getting to the free throw line early. Marshall didn't have that advantage, but they have really hung their hat on that defensive end of the floor and caused so many frustrations for the Lady Shoes from a turnover standpoint. And I think everybody in that Teutopolis crowd right now is holding their breath as to what is head coach Lori Thompson drawing up here in these final 11 seconds.
Well, if you're looking for 3-point shooters, Lexi Nieberger has 73. Let's check in with Joe.
Yeah, guys, right now Dorothy Gator is just stressing to her team to bring the pressure outside the arch, because that is what Teutopolis needs right now. A 2-pointer is not going to do anything, so there's no point to put a lot of pressure down in the post.
Lexi Nieberger, 73 of 148 on the season, 49% from 3-point range. Tonight, Nieberger has a couple. Nieberger will get it up top to Beaker. Beaker inside the arc, steps out, 3 ball, no. It comes out to Nieberger. To Niemer. 3 seconds left. Maddie, she fouled.
Oh gosh.
Was she fouled on a 3? Or did Lori Thompson take a timeout before the foul was called in the corner?
He's calling a We've got a foul in the corner, and the other ref is calling the timeout from Lori Thompson, and it looks like
they're going to give the timeout with exactly 1 second left. Oh my goodness. Wow.
How about that turn of events? You don't see that.
Would have been 3 free throws. Here's the sequence, the final seconds. One miss. 2 misses, and here comes the timeout or a foul. Lori Thompson jumped off that bench when she saw the ball go into the deep corner, took the timeout. And now it's catch, look, and shoot.
You definitely want to draw up something, maybe for Niebrugge getting it to the rim, not into the rim, but momentum towards the basket where she can get her feet kind of squared up. Maybe coming off the wing or in a deep corner.
And Marshall will protect the arc. Will be Olivia Niemerg to inbound. One shot at a time. No timeouts left for Teutopolis if something goes wrong here in the inbounds. The catch, Beaker. Oh, it comes up short, and Marshall will go back to back. For the 10th time in school history, Dorothy Gators and the Marshall Commandos win a state championship. This one coming against Teutopolis as the Commandos ran off a 15-2 run to close it and win by 3. And the devastation on the side of Teutopolis. Last year, Marshall overcame a 15-point deficit to Teutopolis in the semifinals before winning in overtime 46-43. Tonight, the Commandos trailed by 14 in the state championship ball game, and your final score 47-44.
An emotional night for Marshall coming back from that deficit.
Our Wintrust play the game as Marshall is making its comeback. They kept their composure. They got the shot from Ashante Kaiser. It got the good hop. It tied the ball game and set up the game-winning run. One hop and in. One more time for Kaiser. Marshall had not led the entire game until the final 31 seconds, and their head coach is standing by with Joe Brand.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. If she's not a legend, I don't know who is. Head coach Dorothy Gators with her 10th state championship in IHSA history. Coach, I won't ask you to rank these championships, but what made this one different?
Well, it's different because it's a different group of kids. I mean, that's the bottom line. You know, you bring a different group down every time. As long as they play their heart out, you know, then we're satisfied with whatever the outcome.
10 state championships speaks for itself, but this is the first time your team has repeated since 1993, so how sweet is it to repeat?
It's great because it's very difficult to repeat a championship. But these kids came together toward the end. They really worked hard, and they deserve it.
That's twice now, 2 games in a row. Your team did not have a lead until the 4th quarter. Today it wasn't until the final minute. How resilient is this group?
They're pretty resilient. You know, these kids go through a lot more adversity than a basketball game.
What's it like to represent the Chicago Public League?
It's great. We hope that we've done the city proud. You know, our sportsmanship, our play has been outstanding.
Coach, congratulations a million times. have fun with the rest of this. We're going to bring in Jalen Jimenez, leading scorer for Marshall, the Commandos. And Jalen, this team has so many unique roles. It's kind of an interchangeable roster. You're not always starting, but here you come in the championship game and put up the most points. How fun is it to play in a team like that?
It's fun. I mean, it's challenging playing because there's a lot of talent on the team, so I'm not the only shooter. It's other people that come in the game. It's exciting for me to get in and just do what I'm supposed to do, or else you're going to sit on the bench. So I'm glad to be in this moment right now.
What's the first emotion that goes through your mind when you take the lead with 44 seconds left?
It's scary. It's real scary because we beat them last year, and, you know, they want to come back. But it's a good feeling to win again.
How do you fight that fear?
Work hard and have heart. Have heart.
Obviously an emotional day. You were emotional with your teammates. It's more than basketball, isn't it?
Yeah, it's loyalty. The loyalty we got with our team, it's a bond that can't be broken.
What's it like to be underneath Dorothy Gators?
She's a legend. So playing with her and winning back-to-back, it's a good feeling.
Jalen, congratulations. State champion, the Marshall Commandos. Dave, Rachel, what a finish here at Redbird Arena.
Unbelievable. Dorothy Gators says her team played their hearts out. But as you can see, in the last 2 years, Marshall played with their hearts, overcoming double-digit deficits each of the 4 games, back-to-back for the Commandos. Let's check in down at center court, our Menards Trophy presentation.
Head coach, Brett Teakin. Assistant coach, Bob Allen. Assistant coach, Paige Cullison. Manager, Glory Wilson. And squad members, Jade Scroggins, Haley Major, Sheridan Lyerla, Kylie Meyer, Vanessa Compton, Maddie Rupert, Sammy Matouche, Aubrey Rupert, Macy Blankenship, Emily Reynolds, Claire Tester, and Nikaya Harston. And now will Coach Teakin and the captains of Hillsborough High School please step forward to receive the 4th place trophy. Hillsborough fans, reception Sunday at 1:30 in the Hillsborough Gym. A reception for the team Sunday at 1:30 in the Hillsborough High School Gymnasium. At this time, please meet the Spartans of St. Joseph Ogden High School, who finished the season in 3rd place with a final record of 29 wins and 5 losses. First meet the superintendent, Brian Brooks. Principal, Gary Page III. Athletic Director, Justin Franzen. Athletic Trainer, Casey Hugg. Head Coach, Kevin Taylor. Assistant Coach, Allison Franzen. Assistant Coach, Rachel Graham. Assistant Coach, Rachel Hurleman. And your team members, McLean Taylor, Hannah Dukeman. Angela Palmer. Ella Armstrong. Peyton Jacob. Atlee Hamilton. Katie Kramer. Abby Behrens. Taylor Barnes. Ashlyn Lannert. Aaron Miller. Peyton Valley. Peyton Crow. Bree Trimble. And Anna Winsloff. And now will Coach Taylor and the captains of St. Joseph Ogden High School please step forward to receive the third place trophy. Fans, St. Joseph Ogden High School Gym, 2 p.m. on Sunday, a reception for the Spartans. Sunday, 2 p.m. at the high school gymnasium. At this time, please meet the Lady Wooden Shoes of Teutopolis High School, who finished the season in second place with a final record of 33 wins and 5 losses. First, meet the superintendent of Teutopolis Schools, Bill Fritcher. Principal, Greg Beck. Athletic trainer, Susie Parks. Head coach and athletic director, Lori Thompson. Assistant coach, Josh Cottrell. Assistant coach, Maria Tegler. Assistant coach, Heather Warman. Manager, Dana Shannon. Manager, Miles Dries. Scorekeeper, Dave Burrell. Squad members, Morgan Meddy. Savannah Grimes. Carly Michaels. Sadie Beaker. Lexi Niebrugge. Abby Blummer. Sierra Repke. Olivia Niemerg. Allie Brumlelli. Hope Beaker. Carson Meddy. Leah Shoemaker. Hannah Prummer. Claire Busher. And Emma Daters. And now will Coach Thompson and the captains of Teutopolis High School please step forward to receive the second place trophy. At this time, please meet the commandos of Marshall High School, who finished the season in first place with a final record of 27 wins and 8 losses. First meet CPS Executive Director Carl Kemp. CPS Regional Athletic Director Cynthia Irvin. Principal Jamie Poole. Assistant Principal Natasha Jones. Assistant Principal Othniel Mahone. Head Coach and Athletic Director Dorothy Gators. Assistant Coach Kimya Murray. Assistant Coach Gwen Howard. Manager Travell Jones. Manager Christian Maroe. And your squad members, Shemaya Godfrey, Jaylyn Jimenez, Brandy Hudson, Dashiera Butts, Dejanay James, Jayana Smith, Naya Zamudio, Roquisha Sims, Aaliyah Johnson, Tamariana Levy, and Ashante Kaiser. And now will Coach Gators and the captains of Marshall High School please step forward to receive the first place trophy. Congratulations to the Commandos who have defended their Class 2A state championship.
So the Marshall Commandos will raise that trophy the 10th time in school history. They have done just that. And we take you back here to, we've seen the trophy presentation for all of 2A. You're looking at your champions, and that's how it looked like throughout today. Congratulations to Danville Schlarman defeating Eastland 62-36 for your 1A title. Marshall goes back-to-back, 47-44, this time knocking off Teutopolis. And you talk about resiliency. That's a word we use a lot in sports, right? But how about the resiliency of the Commandos here tonight? The resiliency and the composure that Marshall showed throughout this entire tournament. Things did not go their way, and head coach Dorothy Gators, I think, summed it up perfectly by saying, these young women face a ton of adversity, and they certainly faced a lot of adversity through this tournament, and they handled it with a ton of resiliency and composure. Teutopolis led this ball game by 14 points at one stage, but then the Commandos made the charge back. This part of a 15-2 run. You're going to see 5 baskets here from 5 different Marshall players, forcing turnovers, converting them to points. All part of the 15-2 run as Marshall closed this game, scoring 10 straight. This one for the tie. The good hop for Ashante Kaiser. And Marshall had taken a 3-point lead, but Teutopolis had time. They needed a 3 to get not just one opportunity. They will get a second opportunity. And then this, a 3-point free throw or a timeout. It was a timeout that was called. Here's the last shot of the game, just short. And with that, Teutopolis comes up short, but the Marshall Commandos do not. The 10th state title in state history for Marshall. They'll bring that trophy back to their trophy case, and it will set us up for next weekend. We'll be right back here, 3A, 4A girls basketball. Join us on NBC Sports Chicago.
This event is brought to you by Champion. Since 1919, Champion has created the durable, authentic sportswear you need to conquer your goals. As the official uniform and apparel provider for the NFHS, Champion helps athletes at every level make their mark, the mark of a champion. View our apparel today at champion.com.